Hello there, I am Christopher Carroll, and today I will be bringing you my mastery journey timeline. For my career long-term goal, my long-term goal is to become a professional writer, actor, and director. But for the purpose of this assignment, I will only be focusing on writing and directing my own films. So, for graduation, my short-term goal is I would like to write and direct a brand new short film, and I would like to do this within like the first 3 months after graduation. And then after that, I would like to submit it into film festivals. So for this, I will be going through my thought process and how I should, go about writing and what type of story, and also some ideas of already looking into how to do film festivals and how to create a campaign for it and all this other stuff. So the steps to accomplish this short-term goal, I would like to, first I'm going to write the script for the film. Then I'm going to find producers and begin pre-production. Then I'll move the project into production, and then I'll wrap up production and move into post-production. So basically, I'm using the steps as to actually making the film. And then after I finish post-production, I would like to create a campaign for film festival circuits and then submit the film into at least 5 film festivals. I know that's kind of a lot, but I feel like it would help get the project out there more. So moving on. So when writing a new script, typically I know what type of films I like to write. It typically falls within the horror genre. Now, you know, I know this is months and months in the future, and I could change and want to do a comedy or something like that. But for now, I'm going to stick with the horror genre because that's typically what I do. However, when it comes to my horror films, typically I focus on character development and the mindset they are in. So I look into their psyches and try to make the viewers of my films or readers of the scripts or whatever you want, whoever's looking at my projects, I like to make them understand why the character makes the decision that they make, and you get really emotionally attached to these said characters. This goes into something that Green said on page 284 of the Mastery book, that it's a very important skill to have empathy towards people. This is how I look at writing my characters, because I treat people how I would want to be treated and no less. I also like bringing empathy into my characters when developing them out and helping them to be more relatable to people. This is a skill that I possess and am constantly improving upon when it comes to writing the characters in my story. I will never probably perfect this because people are constantly changing with the times and like their mindsets, and my mindset 30 years from now, hell, even 5 years from now, will not be the same. And so this is a skill that as a writer I will constantly be tinkering with and trying to improve upon. The next step I'm going to combine is pre-production, production, and post-production, because really it's just the filmmaking process. When it comes to being a director, it's very important to keep a very open mind. This includes adapting to problems that arise and taking suggestions from other people. In order to master the art of directing, it's important to acquire the mindset that you just have to go with the flow. So what I basically mean with that is, being a director, you are basically the boss over everyone. And granted, you mainly focus on your vision and the actors, but you are ultimately the boss. And so when someone comes with a suggestion, to me, you need to have the open mind and, make it feel like everyone is included in the process, and like, whether because it might be a better idea than what you had planned for or envisioned. And I know some directors are really a pain in the ass and don't want to listen to anyone because they know best and that type of deal. And to me, that's just not the philosophy. And it's definitely not a way to master the art of directing. Kind of what Green says on page 284. Mastery is like swimming. It is too difficult to move forward when you are constantly going against the current. So if you're constantly fighting with people and not open to hearing people's suggestions, or you're getting stressed out because you plan and plan and plan, and then something always comes up and you don't know, you stress out about deviating from your set plan to adapt to this so-called, mistake or problem that arised. You're never going to master this art. And to me, I really like this quote from Green, and I think it fits perfectly with the process of being a director, and really with just life in general. Because with life, there are always going to be hiccups, and you can always plan and make an outline, but really that's what, when you plan for something and you make a schedule, it's really just an outline of what you'd like to accomplish, but there's always going to be divots and you always have to work around, and there's no need to stress out, because to me, if you're not having fun with what you're working on, then what's the point? And so, yeah, that is kind of my pre-production and like my ideas of it. And it's kind of hard to go into details about what I would do as like direct, because you never know what's going to happen. I don't know what project I'd be working on. So moving on to creating a film festival campaign, typically with when I was researching this, in order to make a film festival campaign, you need to get your film ready for festivals. So first, you need to format your film correctly. You need to look into the guidelines that the film festivals have in order for your film to meet the criteria. Second, you need to include and format your film's closed captions and subtitles. This will help expand your viewership and expand the audience members that will come and watch your film. Next, you need to create a on-point promotional materials. This will help get the word out. Then you need to start working on your marketing strategy, and then distribution prep best practices. So really, this just helps with getting your film out there, getting the word out, and helps you plan out more of the type of viewer you want coming to see your film and the audience it's going to attract and that type of stuff. So for film festivals, when I was looking up film festivals, I was looking at the ones that would typically fall around the timeline that I needed to after said production wraps. So if I do this all in 3 months, then that would mean because I graduate in May of 2022, so I would need film festivals that takes place during the fall, so around that October, November, December timeline. Those are the circuits and film festivals I want to put the film in, because it will line up after they'll give me 3 months to write, film it, and then I can keep tinkering with the post-production until around, say, September. I can wrap post-production up in September, and then hopefully line it up and enter it into the October film festivals, or November. So for the 5 festivals I found was the Indie Memphis Film Festival, which takes place in Memphis, Tennessee. Then, of course, Nashville Film Festival, which is in Nashville, Tennessee. The SCAD Savannah Film Festival, which takes place in Savannah, Georgia. Then New Orleans Film Festival, and then Louisiana Film Prize. So all these are, well, the Louisiana Film Prize is a contest, but it will still help get the film out there and possibly get it picked up, or help get my name and the other people's names out there to the industry. And also these like Nashville, Memphis, Tennessee, Georgia, and like New Orleans and Louisiana, I plan on moving back up to Atlanta, so Tennessee and Savannah really line up and on the same coast that I want to live on, so it helps that I won't have to travel super far, uh, because I probably won't have the funds to travel to all these film festivals, so finding local ones were important also when looking into them, so that's that. So when it comes to reflection and connections, one connection that I think will really help me out is Chad Perkins. He's a filmmaker that teaches on LinkedIn Learning. I feel like he would be a good connection to reach out to before submitting a film to any festivals. I am connected to him on LinkedIn personally. So I feel like I could message him and hopefully get his feedback before I submit it to these festivals. And I could also maybe ask for advice on like how to go about like the circuits of festivals and stuff like that. Another one, I could join Spark, which is a program at Full Sail. This will allow me to gain more experience and make more connections. The new connections can help me find future producers and crew members. This is very important to me, that I would need to make these connections with like-minded people that would be willing to come and work on a project that probably won't pay as much, because if I'm making it right after graduation, I won't have the funds to pay per se. But hopefully I can make connections where, maybe I scratch their back and during Spark, and so they'll scratch my back later on, that type of mentality. And then the last thing when it comes to reflection, I would like to, in order to achieve my goal of getting my films out to the public, I will have to look back to what I learned in my final class of this program, which is Business of Film. In this class, we learn how to distribute a film out to the public, and the right paths and to take, and the decisions that we need to make and everything that goes into it. So for that, I would probably need to look back into that when creating my film festival campaign and circuits and that type of stuff. uh, but thank you for your time and watching this video. Hopefully I explained everything well enough, and that, I passed this assignment. But yeah, thank you for your time, and I will definitely look forward to the months coming up. Also, there are my references. Alright, goodbye.